To see why the square root of x plus delta x is not equal to the square root of x plus the square root of delta x, all we have to do is square this and see that it's not equal to x plus delta x. Now, a little more formally, let's square both sides. Let's assume these well, I'm going to write the inequality. I'm just going to square the x plus delta x, and I'm going to square the square root of x. Let's say that right. I'm going to square the square root of x plus delta x here, and I'm going to square the square root of x plus the square root of delta x. And I didn't write the square root in there, did I? Okay, I've corrected that. Squaring the square root of x plus the square root of delta x, as we have it here. Okay, when I square this, I get x plus 2 square root of x square root of delta x. Of course, that could be written with one square root of x delta x. And the square of the square root of delta x, which is just, of course, delta x. So that we have x here, and that matches the x over here. And we have a delta x over here. Well, that's what we get if we square our delta x here. But what we don't have is this. So that this, squaring this, is not the same as squaring this. So that this is certainly not the square root of this. This is enough to prove that square rooting doesn't distribute over addition. Another very good example, we can prove that the square root of 25 equals 7. All we have to do is assume that square rooting distributes over addition, because then 25 would be 16 plus 9. And if the square root of 16 plus 9 is the square root of 16 plus the square root of 9, then we have 4 plus 3, which equals 7, proving that the square root of 25 is 7. So we proved it. No, we didn't. We used a fallacious argument here, assuming that the square root distributes over plus. And it's simply not so. You should understand here that it's not so. You should understand here that it's not so. And you should really be cautious that you never do that. And having said that, almost everybody does it at some point or another. Try to avoid it. It causes you all kinds of problems. It'll waste your time. It'll confuse you. It could cause you to do worse on a test or quiz or homework. Okay, so keep that in mind.